Hi guys, here with your maths for today. We're moving on from addition of fractions. We're going to have a go at subtracting our fractions today. So to get us started, pause the video here, have a go at these questions. Okay, how did we get on with these? The first one, we don't need to do too much with. The second one, we need to have a look at. So we'll talk through the first one. Question 1, 3/5 minus 2/5. So very much the same as when we're doing addition. As long as the denominators are the same, we just do the operation with the numerators. So all I have to do is 3 take away 2. That will give me an answer of 1/5. Question 2, there's a little bit more to it. We need to make 1/3 an equivalent of ninths. So we need to multiply that by 3. So it ends up being 5/9, take away 3/9. And now that our denominators are the same, we can just work with the numerators. So I need 5 take away 3 gives me 2/9. So 2/9 is the answer to that question. Completing the addition pyramid. The sum of the number is the sum of the two numbers below it. So we have 1/5 add 1/10 equals 3/10, and 3/10 plus something equals 1/2. Well, we know to have a whole, the numerators need to add up to being the same as the denominator. So 3/10 plus 7/10 gives us our answer for that one. So 7 and 3 makes 10, and 10 over 10 is equivalent to 1. Now all we need to do is work out what 7/10 take away 1/5 is. So remembering finding our equivalents, we'll convert that into tenths. We'll multiply 1/5 by 2 to make it into 2/10. And now I can do 7/10 take away 2/10, which will give me 5/10. Now I could leave it like that, but me being me, I'm going to make it into a neater fraction. I'm going to turn it into 1/2. So 5 out of 10 is equivalent fraction of 1/2. So when we're subtracting, we are going to work our way through. We've got 3/4 take away 3/8. So I've got my bar with my 3/4 on it. I'm going to make that into a bar of 8s, and then I can do this much easier. So to do that, I need to multiply 3/4 by 2, which will get me to 6/8. And that's what's shown on the bar on the screen now. Now all I need to do is, working with the bar, I can look through and take 1, 2, 3 off. So I've taken 3 away. I'm left with 3. So I have my answer of 3/8. So you can use a bar model to help you with this. So all you have to do, if you've got the bigger number, put that bar with the denominator and the numerator correctly, and then take away from that. Have a go with this one. So we've got 9/15 and we're taking away 1/5. So you'll need to find your equivalent. What do you need to multiply by? And how many are you going to take away? Pause here to have a go. How did we get on? I'm sure you've all found it really easy finding the equivalent fraction because we've done a lot of practice with that. Once we've found the equivalent, the rest of it is quite simple. So to find what 1/5 is equivalent to, we're going to multiply that by 3. So we have 15 as our denominator for both fractions. And now it's exactly the same as we did on the question above. We go back to our bar and we cross through 3 and we count up how many are left. There are 6 left. Now we could leave the fraction like this, or we could make it a bit neater. Both of those numbers are in the 3 times table. So I can make that 2/5. I can divide 6 by 3. I can divide 15 by 3. So that's our fraction. That's the best form that fraction can take. So we have some grids here. We are going to work our way through and find our answers. So 5/6 take away 12/18. We'll make that into 15/18. So to do that, we're multiplying 5/6 by 3. That gets us our 18ths, and then we can work out the calculation. And that's the equivalent to the one in the middle on the other column, on the right-hand column. So I can join those two together. So now we can look at 9/10, take away 1/5. I'm going to make, actually, I'm not. Why don't you guys have a go? See if you can work out which ones go with which ones. So look at the left-hand boxes. Where are their equivalents on the right-hand side? Pause the video here to have a go. How did we get on with these? 9/10 take away 1/5. Sorry, my mistake. I've skipped ahead of myself. 7/8 take away 1/16. Now I've turned this into something over 32. And I've got 28 over 32 take away 2 over 32. I've done this because I've got 28 over 32. So I need to find which one of these boxes has a fraction that I can make equivalent to something over 32. So we've got that here. So 7/8 take away 1/16 is the equivalent of 28 over 32 take away 2 over 32. Now you could have gone the whole step here and solved them all the way through and worked out what each box's value is, which would be one way of doing it, but it's just asking us to find the equivalents. And then that just leaves us with 9/10 take away 1/5, which we know, multiply that by 2, so you get 1/5 becomes 2/10, and then at the very top of the right-hand column, we have our other answer. So over to you. Your turn now. Pause here to complete your work. Okay, how did we get on today with these? So question 1 suggests using bar models. These can be really helpful when we're just getting our heads around how we do things. So I've drawn out the bar models. I've made sure I've got my fractions as equivalents, and I've crossed out the right number of fractions there. So you see I've colored them in blue and I've crossed them through in red. So I'm using a different color so I can see what I've done. I've also made sure I've expressed my fraction in its simplest form. So for A, you would have had 2/6. I've got two even numbers, so I can just divide them by 2, and that leaves me with 1/3. Matching our equivalent calculations is exactly the same as what we did the previous slide we've just been through together. So again, it's finding what the equivalents are in there. So check your answers here, and then we can move on. Okay, questions 3 and question 4. So question 3, this is a bit of a sneaky one, so we'll go through it together. What it's asking is how much further does Jack walk than Aisha? So to work that out, it's asking me to solve 7/9 take away 2/3. Now, obviously, I can't take 9ths and thirds away from each other because they're not equivalent fractions. So I need to make this one into an equivalent fraction. I'm going to do that by multiplying by 3. So I know that 3 times 3 makes 9. So now what I'm solving is 7/9 take away 6/9, which gives us our answer that we've got here. Have a look at these subtractions. Check your answers. Did you notice what was the same in column A and what was the same in column B? So column A, they are all 16ths. Column B, they're all 21st. They can't be simplified any further than they are. Well done if you got that. So moving forward, on Monday, Whitney reads for 4/7 of an hour. On Tuesday, she reads for 3/4 of an hour less than on Monday. For how long does Whitney read on Monday and Tuesday altogether? So we have our bar for Monday. We have our bar for Tuesday. We know the bar for Monday is 4/7 of an hour. We know we need to take away 3/14 of an hour less to show that that's what she read on Tuesday. We need to work out what the bar for Tuesday's value is. Have a think. Can you work it out? Did you manage to work it out? Let's have a go through and we'll work it through together. So if you haven't managed to do it, don't worry. So we know we have 4/7 of an hour of time used on Monday. And on Tuesday, she reads for 3/14 of an hour less. So we need to do 4/17 or 4/7 take away 3/14. That will give us what we've got that goes in the blue bar for Tuesday. Now, obviously, the denominators are different, so I can't complete this calculation. So I need to make 4/7 into an equivalent fraction. I'm going to do that by multiplying it by 2. So 4/7 becomes 8/14. And I now have 8/14 take away 3/14. So remembering that now my denominator is the same, I just need to subtract my numerators. I'm left with 5/14. So that was our missing value. So for how long does Whitney read on Monday and Tuesday all together? So we've got a second part to this question. It's asking us to use the information we found and answer another question. So we know how to add our fractions together, don't we? 4/7 plus 5/14 equals, tell you what, you finish this calculation off, I'll wait here for you. Okay, all done? Fantastic. So we need to make 4/7 into something over 14. So to get 7 to 14, I multiply by 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. So 8/14 plus 5/14 gives me 13/14 of an hour in total. So it's all very important to remember, if we're working in meters or time, that we record that when we give our answer as well. So we could have left it as 13/14, but it doesn't tell us 13/14 of what. So if we're talking about time or weight, we need to write it in with our answer. Okay, what's the difference between 7/10 and 1/5? Well, finding the difference is another way of finding it by using subtraction. So 7/10 is equivalent to, 1/5 is equivalent to 2/10. So I multiply 1/5 by 2 to give me my 2/10. Now I can plot them on my number line. So I've split my number line between 0 and 1 into 10 parts. So I've got 7/10 and I've got 2/10, and then I just count the number of the gaps between them here. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So once we've counted them, we've got 5/10. So this is just another way of doing the subtraction. Now, 5/10, I could leave it like this, but I'm sure you're all telling me that I need to do something with it. I can make it into a half. It's the equivalent of 1/2. So have a go yourselves. What's the difference between 2/3 and 3/9? So what we've done this time, we've split the bar into 9 parts, not 10. So we can split the bar into as many parts we need for our fraction. So pause the video here, have a go with this one. Okay, how did we get on? The first thing we need to do is convert 2/3 into a fraction over 9. So I know 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 2 is 6. So I have 6/9, which I've plotted on my number line, and I've got 3/9. And then I just count back between the two, which I've got here, and I've got 3/9. And again, I can make this into a much neater fraction. 3/9 is the equivalent of 1/3. Okay, over to you guys. Work your way through these, take your time. Some of these need a bit of reading over, so be careful with them. Pause the video to complete your work. Okay, ready for your answers? Moving forward, so question 5. Alex rides for 2/3 of an hour. On Sunday, she cycles for 5/12. How many more hours does Alex cycle on Saturday than Sunday? So we'll go through this one together. So we have, oops, Hang on, my pen's gone funny. There we are. Right. 2/3, and we're going to take away 5/12. Now I can't do this at the moment because I have different denominators. So I need to multiply this one by 4. The reason I'm multiplying by 4 is 4 times 3 makes 12. So remembering what I do to the denominator, I also have to do to my numerator. 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm now doing 8/12 take away 5/12. So 8 take away 5 equals 3. And I know both of these are in the 3 times table. So I'm going to divide this entire fraction by 3, which gives me 1/4. So that's how we got to 1/4. And how many more minutes does Alex cycle on a Saturday than a Sunday? Well, we know 1/4 of an hour is 15 minutes. The fraction cards, check your answers. And now we'll move on to question 7. The perimeter of the rectangle is 4/15 of a meter. Can you work out the missing length? So perimeter, we add all the sides together. So to do that, we know the overall is 14/15. There's 1 or 2 ways of doing that. I'm going to do it the way that works for me. So I know this side here, the long side that I've got the measurement for, is the same length as that. So I'm going to start off by doing 1/3 plus 1/3. So I've got my 2 long sides. That gives me 2/3. Now I'm going to turn this into a fraction over 15. So that is equivalent to, now what do I need to multiply it by? 3 times 5. So I'm going to multiply this by 5, which will give me 10/15. So I know the overall perimeter is 14/15. So what I need to do now is 14/15 take away 10/15, which will give me 4/15. And then because I know it's over 2 sides, I'm going to divide my top by 2, which then gives me 2/15 as my missing measurement. Well done today, guys. You've worked really well. Make sure you load your work onto Tapestry, and please make sure you show your working out. There's quite a few of you that aren't at the moment, and it'd just be nice to check which way round you're going about solving these questions. You're getting them right, but I'd just like to see you're working out more often. Well done, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all back in class very soon.